The Last of Us Part 3 is gonna get cancelled now. And it's all your fault, you evil, unapologetic baguette. What, did you not want to see Ellie start a lesbian relationship with She-Hulk? It would be the greatest I'm gay moment that we have ever seen in gaming. And you said no. You ruined this. Now we're only gonna have to deal with Intergalactic, the evil heretic prophet, the saga of pure lesbianism. Oh yes, Intergalactic at least is gonna be the most gay thing in decades. You can be sure that Neil Druckmann from Naughty Dog is gonna make that happen, okay?
Ooh, it looks like there isn't going to be a Last of Us Part 3. I'm overcome with emotion.
Same.
Look how shocked my face is.
Yeah, it looks like an egg. I don't even know what's happening.
Well, look at this shocked face.
I see anger.
How shocked is this face here?
Repressed childhood emotions.
Shocking.
True.
Hi everyone, it's Az here from Heel vs. Babyface. Can you believe it? But it's been nearly 5 years since the whole business went down between myself, Naughty Dog, Sony Interactive Entertainment, and a wonderful company called Muso TNT, as they all conspired and struck
I don't know what he's talking about.
down my video regarding The Last of Us Part 2 leaks. In actual fact, they put a copyright strike and 2 copyright claims against the same video, all for the same thing. Weird, huh? Now, if
That's
you don't know
hilarious.
what that means in YouTube terms, it means that those 2 copyright claims could be escalated into copyright strikes, which would have meant 3 copyright strikes and your channel would have been immediately pulled down. Sony, Naughty Dog, and Muso were literally trying to silence my channel. They were trying to...
By the way, I don't remember this, but this is fact. Because Neil Druckmann from Naughty Dog, aka the head lesbian there, is known for abusing copyright strikes. He's actually quite proud of it. I think you can still find tweets from his own Twitter, not saved screenshots, but little tweets still on his Twitter account about how he's proud to doing that, because how dare they say anything bad about him.
to threaten my channel with removal for talking about The Last of Us Part 2 leaks, which came from Naughty Dog themselves. And it wasn't just me, it was Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Kinnell, and other people as well that were getting the same treatment. Now, Neil Druckmann claimed that he didn't know what on earth was going on, and then in an interview later said that as soon as the leaks came out and these videos came out, that there was a crisis meeting about what to do with Sony. And we saw what happened. They copyright struck everybody that they could, and they threatened them with deletion. All this did was add the Streisand effect, and more people suddenly got to see what was going on. And eventually, after a few days, they released all the claims and literally went radio silent until the release of the game. But even though this happened, there was still a lot of pro Last of Us people, because it could all just be bollocks, couldn't it? It could all...
There's still pro Last of Us people. Like, The Last of Us is one of those crazy things where there's a bunch of fans that are literally just, from start to finish, purely brain damaged and insane, okay? I remember The Last of Us TV show, man, they were pretty ferocious about it when it dropped initially. But now I can shit all over it as much as I want, because it is stupid. It is stupid. Okay, Ellie, who looks like she's gonna start eating dirt by the fucking handful. By the way, whoever the actress was for that turns out like 25, so she's actually probably literally retarded. So she's probably gonna start chugging dirt in her mouth by the goddamn handful at some point. But that would be fun, and I digress back to sad things. Okay? Dude. When... The Last of Us TV show was so goddamn stupid. It was literally an ideological war front. They did such a poor job at everything. So, okay, there's the situation. They're taking out Ellie of the place, and they're gonna go through a place, and they think that there's clickers inside. And she's like, ah, they're going there! And they're like... And she's like, what are you doing? And they're like... They're not even, by the way, inside. The two adults, the two brain-damaged adults, can literally just tell her, okay, Ellie, I don't know how the fuck you're born in this world where, you know, all you know is zombies. Playing zombies, I guess. But there's a clicker inside. I don't know how you don't know what a clicker is, but listen, you can't make noises because they hunt based on sound, okay? Yeah, they hunt based on sound. That's genius. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 again. And they don't tell her that. She literally is clueless what's happening. They're like... For no reason. They're not even inside, they're outside, and they're like... They could explain it to her, and they're like... And she's like, I'm retarded! It's great. I hate life so much.
It'll just be made up. This could be a disgruntled employee or something along those lines. The first game was amazing. They wouldn't do anything this stupid in the second game. Well, it actually turned out to be true, and it turned out...
Never doubt the chosen ones. Wink, wink.
...out to be a lot worse. But in the first week that it released, sales were absolutely through the roof. It was reported that the game had sold 4 million units within its first 3 days, setting a new record for the franchise. And you have to consider that the bulk of those will most likely be from people that never even saw the leaks and absolutely loved the first game, where they suddenly were met with the realism of what this story had devolved into. When Joel is killed early on in the game, it affected some people so much.
Oh, man. Dude, I love Joel getting killed because he's an evil man, by the way. 10 out of 10, Neely, my boy.
They actually decided to pull their games out live on stream and destroy them there and then. Druckmann thought that he was such a genius. I'm going to make people hate Abby at the beginning of the game, and then when you play her for 10 plus hours, you're going to love her by the end of it. However, in actual fact, this didn't work at all. There's multiple...
Now, granted, I will say one positive thing about this because it has to be said. The idea that you introduce a character in such a way is kind of bad, but if you can actually make people feel for the character, you have created an extremely, extremely good story. You have sacrificed one important character for a whole emotional roller coaster of things for another. But sadly, Abby is a political insert, not a real character, and there's no depth behind any of this shit. Okay? Neil Druckmann just was stupid. Theoretically, it could have been great, but Neil Druckmann is too stupid to make anything great.
Compilations on YouTube of people relishing every time they get Abby killed. With the game now out and people seeing...
Oh yeah, people unironically thought, wait a minute, I'm supposed to die as Abby now. Yay! And then no, you're not. You're forced to play with this unlikable, ununderstandable person.
The story for themselves, it came across as exceedingly divisive amongst gamers. And suddenly those sales, which they were very proud to announce early doors, dried up. And Naughty Dog decided not to report any other sales going forward. In actual fact, it seems to have taken multiple years for the game to hit around about 10 million units sold. But what does that mean in terms of sales? Is The Last of Us Part 2 a
But does that count remasters or some stuff like that?
flop? Or is The Last of Us Part 2 a financial success? 2 years after the release of the game,
that's a good question. I actually have no idea. I have no idea, but if it wasn't a success, that's the thing. Because of the success of the first one, it's still fine.
Dog put out this post saying, thrilled to celebrate the second anniversary of the worldwide release of The Last of Us Part 2 and this year's milestone.
Well, The Last of Us Part 2 probably cost like 150 million to make, or 200 million maybe. Like 300 mil would be the super tippity top, which is really doubtful, honestly. Still, like, damn.
Of 10 million copies.
But 10 million copies for what? 60 each? You know, okay. 10 million copies over a period of, I don't know, many, let's say 5 years or something like that. I don't remember the real number here. Would be 600 million, but that would be minus the money that was probably needed to be borrowed for making this game with the loan with the loan price increased. So that's minus probably what, like something like 50 mil more lost through loans. And then, considering a lot of these copies are probably sold for like a 50%, 80% discount. So they had 4 million copies sold initially. So that's something like 100. So this game maybe has made 300 million over its lifespan. Maybe. Not even sure. Like, I'm really just, kind of spitballing here. Maybe Naughty Dogs with 10 million sales has made 300 million over the years. But again, there is a chance that it cost the like 200 million to develop at the start. Which means at this point, considering it took such a long time to make these 10 million sales, means that they had to take another loan out to start making their intergalactic heretic prophet game that's going to be a gay masterpiece, I'm sure.
Sold. Thank you to our studio members, Sony Interactive Entertainment, our partners, I guess Muso's one of them, and the fans for your continued support. In a leaked document, because Sony's online security is so good, it was seen that The Last of Us Part 2 had made $242 million in PlayStation Store downloads alone. So that doesn't take into consideration physical copies, but I think it's safe to assume now that the vast majority of copies are now...
was it a PS exclusive? Let me Google that. The Last of Us is PS6. Oh no, it's just right. Is exclusive. This is why The Last of Us is play. Oh, it is just The Last of. Oh shit! Wow. That is it. Okay, yeah, and Sony owns the full rights for The Last of Us, eh? Wow. Okay, so this is just a PS exclusive. Okay. Oof. I thought that this is everywhere. Shit, if this wasn't the PS exclusive, they could have sold like 20 million copies. Damn. Painful. We weren't that far off the mark, at least.
Being sold digitally as opposed to physically. In actual fact, digital sales make up 90% of all game sales.
Yeah, so we're actually... So, yeah, I was gonna say, not 95. The digital sales are 95-ish% even at that point. Like 90% is just being honestly a lot generous. So this is like, in actuality, this is like 260 million. And well, I said 300. 30, Jesus. 300 probably. Nice. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. We were almost on the money, boys. Man, we're good at this shit, aren't we?
To physically. In actual fact, digital sales make up 90% of all game sales. So if we were to just use this rough guesstimate to attach it to The Last of Us Part 2, then we'll add on another 24 million taking that to $266 million made for that game. So how much did it cost to develop? We know that due to a failed to redact Sony document in the FTC X Microsoft trial, we know that the cost of The Last of Us Part 2 came at $220 million.
Well, again, The Last of Us is a big franchise. The first... Because it's stupid. This is how just the gaming industry works. And this is pure just mind rot speculation, hype, and all of this. They probably made The Last of Us 1 for like 100 million or less. Okay, like 120 million. But you get the point. 200 all those years ago when this game was actually made is a pretty big price, honestly, attached to it. And I said, 200 probably, and up to 300 million. So, damn, that's a lot still.
$1 million. So if we guesstimate additional sales of the game since all of this stuff came out, I think adding another 5 to 10 million would be very generous indeed, due to the fact that they'd be out at discounted prices, due to the fact that the game isn't very popular indeed. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. It looks like The Last of Us Part 2 has probably made a profit somewhere in the region of $60 to $70 million. Now, this is speculation, of course, trying to use the data that I've got available. There could be some swing either way as regards to that. But does that make a successful game? 220 development costs, come out with a 70 million profit. That's great, isn't it? Or is it? Extrapolating as best data we can, it's guesstimated that The Last of Us has sold round about 27 to 30 million units, whereas The Last of Us Part 2, most likely now...
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, wait, what? Yeah, The Last of Us 1 makes sense.
...sits in the remit of around about 11 to 12 million. So let's just say a third of the sales of the...
Yeah, this is good. This is nice. This literally video just confirms that I'm good at this shit.
the first game. Now, yes, there are...
Feeling good about myself, boys. You need to pick me up time to time. And hey, there's no better way to pick oneself up than by oneself, I guess. That sounds stupid.
Circumstances
but you get the point.
This, the major one, I imagine, would be that The Last of Us came out in 2013 and the sequel in 2020. So it has a 7-year advantage in sales on its successor. However, one of them is popular and one of them is not. It's alleged that it hit 10 million copies 2 years after the sequel released. That's 2020.
He's gonna compare when 10 million copies were hit by The Last of Us Part 1. Which is probably, I don't know, first month.
And it's predicted now that in those 3 years since, it's only shifted another 1 to 2 million. Whereas things like The Last of Us Remaster within itself sold 18 million units. There is definitely more of an audience for the first game than there is the second.
This is why they do remasters. And the best part, not even a lot of point to remaster it, because, you know what, I'm not gonna get into that because it's painful to discuss this shit.
Second game. So does that mean there was ever going to be any more Last of Us? Well, let's hear it from Cuckers himself.
I've been just thinking about, okay, is there a concept there? And for now years, I haven't been able to find that concept. But recently that's changed. I don't have a story, but I do have that concept that to me is as exciting as 1, as exciting as 2. So it does feel like there's probably one more chapter to this story.
Have you ever shoved anything in your own ass? Of course, duh.
Now, this
Seems
announcement came
right.
in February of 2024, and I have to say, it was always, to me, gonna be a risk. After all, we're now talking about a franchise which definitely has the law of diminishing returns. A lot of the sales for The Last of Us Part 2
It's not even that, honestly. It's just the fact that where the hell do you go? Where do you go after The Last of Us 2? Where? What exactly is the story? You learning to play guitar with one less finger? I mean, not that terribly interesting. You in a lesbian relationship, trying to figure out who gonna get beaten more?
Probably now disgruntled customers based on the story and where it actually went. So would they jump on board and purchase the third installment? I would say not. I would say
probably 6 million people would.
That sales would be
But again, we're talking about modern day AAA game that needs to hit it out of the park and all of that shit. Neil Druckmann's reputation is in the gutter. So we're talking about The Last of Us Part 3, if it ever happens, literally being in the ballpark range of cost between 350 to probably 450 million. And if you expect to say sell 6 million copies, good luck with that. That's not gonna be enough, unless you sell them for 100 a pop, but that's very, very doubtful. Okay, best case scenario, maybe you sell 10 million copies. Should technically be enough, but again, when I'm talking 10 million copies, I'm talking about first month there's like 5 million sales maybe, and then over the next year and a half it's like 2.5 million sales, and then in the next 10 years there's 2.5 million sales. Not that is not a return on investment a company can do and be still I forgot the cool name that I'm supposed to insert to this. Malleable, fluent. God fucking damn it, I'm stupid. A company is sustainable, a company that is liquid, no, a company that is solvent. There we go. A company that's not something a company that is solvent wants to do, or near solvent.
Significantly down, and if the budget remained the same around about the 220 million mark, then Naughty Dog were probably on a hiding to lose money. But it's not my company, and fuck Naughty Dog. So where are we in March of 2025? Yeah.
We're gonna make a space lesbian from the 80s game. That's where we are.
You better make it. The Last of Us Part 3 comments from studio head causes meltdown in people whose brains are already mush. Who knew? The creator of The Last of Us has warned, don't bet on The Last of Us Part 3 happening at all. And fans, or I would say remaining fans, on social media have gone into meltdown about it. A third game may not happen at all, warned Neil Druckmann, the head of Naughty Dog, in an interview.
Dude, by the way, The Last of Us Part 3, blah, 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 but there's the second season of The Last of Us TV show is happening, and have you seen the actress for that shit? Okay, have you seen the actress? Last of Us season 2 Abby. Videos, no images. Okay, listen. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna show. Okay, I'm gonna share screen. Wait a minute, a second. There we go. See, this is gonna be your Abby. Right there. That's Abby. You know what I say to that? That's what I say to that, Abby. Okay, a little bit of everything. Okay, it's not the monster She-Hulk you see right there. No, it's a hot woman. So Neil Druckmann has completely betrayed his own standards that he has set up. But a woke lunatic being, a hypocrite, that's honestly nothing exactly new for anyone now, is it? So there we go.
Druckmann, the head of Naughty Dog, in an interview with Variety, when asked specifically about a third Last of Us game, he said, quote,
"Imagine Variety actually killing you, Jesus.
I guess the only thing I would say is don't bet on there being more of Last of Us. This could be it. And fans have gone into meltdown. Neil Druckmann, you better be making Last of Us 3, because this new game looks trash." Referring to Intergalactic, which...
How dare you? It's gonna be the most gay game ever. What do you mean? I'm so hyped.
I actually agree with the guy. Looks like a mitigated trash.
God, again, if you have not seen the spoiler alerts for Interstellar, the Intergalactic Prophet Heretic, dude, you should. Go watch my video. Those things are... They seem so believable. It's exactly what Neil Druckmann would actually do.
And I love Naughty Dog, but it just looks not interesting, like at all. As a huge fan of both games, the idea of no Last of Us 3 really is a disappointment. FFS PlayStation!
What does FFS even mean? I don't know.
And probably more, which have now been deleted. So what exactly happened in that year? Did that concept...
Yeah, this is how good it's gonna be. Well, anyway, that was As from Heel versus Babyface. Bye-bye.